Okay, let's do a real quick rundown of some of my favorite baits that I fish when I fish inside the weeds or fish walleye in the weeds on crankbait. So let's start with the original floating Rapala. I think everybody has ever had these in their box, right? Let's start with this. I carry this in size 7, size 9, size 11, size 13, size 18, and they make a Husky 13, which has a little bit thicker top. So this is a Husky 13 right here, a little bit wider tip, not a Husky jerk, it's a Husky, a floating 13 Husky, and then there's the regular. You can see the difference. So I carry 7s, 9s, 11s, 13s, Husky 13s, and 18s with an emphasis on the 9s, 11s, and 13s. Those are my favorites. All right, plastic stick baits. I like Junior Thunder sticks. Those are some of my favorites, and I like Rapala Husky jerks. Again, 7, 9, 11, maybe even into 13 are my favorites. Let's go to shad baits. A couple shad baits I like. Shallow shad Rapala number 5, number 7, number 9. Deep shad. So here's a shallow shad wrap. You can see the little L shape or stair step lip. Runs very shallow. One of my favorite baits to fish in the weeds. And then we go to a deep shad wrap with a longer lip for fishing the outside edge of the weeds over top of deeper weeds. Again, I like those in size 5, 7, and 9. Those are some of my favorites. Couple of different baits when we talk about going to plastic. Couple of my favorites. Glass shad wrap. So the same as a shad wrap, just has the same body, has a rattle, a really good rattle in it, and it's made out of plastic, and you can actually see through it. The bodies are actually clear. That's why they call them glass shad wraps. One of my favorites for fishing in the weeds. Again, size 5, size 7, size 9, with an emphasis on 5 and 7 in both shallow and deep. And then there is a rattling shad wrap, which is a solid plastic body with a rattle inside. And I fish these mostly in size 7. Very few size 5s in these. I have a tendency to really like the size 7 in these. New recently, which we troll on Saginaw Bay, Lake Erie, flicker shads. Make sure you got a good selection of size 5 and size 7. Flicker shads, great options for plastic shad baits. Now, one other thing I want to mention to you when we're talking about weed walleye, there's 2 baits I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about original floating jointed Rapala. This happens to be a number 9. I like J9s, J11s are my favorites. I do carry some J13s, but 9s and 11s are my favorites. This jointed bait in shallow water, especially if you want to fish really slow, gives it a little more action and makes it look more like an injured bait fish than a solid bait does. So make sure you've got some J9s, J11s, and a few J13s in your box, but emphasis on that 9 and 11 jointed. And then another bait that I would not fish the weeds without, and I love to fish walleye in the weeds, guys. It's one of my favorite ways to catch them. This is a jointed shad wrap. So it's a jointed shad wrap. It's 2-piece. This is actually a rattling shad wrap. This is the plastic version, and it has that joint. I love these baits. I fish a lot. I would tell you about 50% of the crankbaits that I throw in weeds are jointed. Be it a regular floating Rapala jointed or the jointed shad wrap. I like jointed baits, so make sure you've got a few of those in your box. That right there is a little tip on how to get started. Sounds like a lot, but it's not that many baits. It's a couple baits, but it's more a difference in material and then in sizes, and just stick to those colors, right? Silver blue with an orange belly, natural perch, natural bluegill, gold with an orange belly, and then fire tiger. And you've got everything you need to catch walleyes in the weeds any place that they swim. Okay? All right, so there is a quick rundown of some of the baits that I like and how I stock my tackle box, the lures that I like and lures that I know will catch you fish when you're fishing for walleyes in the weeds.